Have you ever felt?
Are you listening?
Hello Aries, welcome back to my channel. I'm Taylor Cole, your personal astrologer. Alright, this is not just a regular month, okay? We have an eclipse going on. We have two eclipses going on. One of them is happening in your opposite sign. There's just so much going on. I don't know what to say. We just have to talk about it. We just really have to talk about it. Alright Aries, so to start the month, the first few days, like literally only the first few days, are going to be just a tad bit slow. But right around March 5th, we're going to start to see the changes happening. We're going to have Mercury, which is the planet of communication and, you know, the mind and thinking and everything like that. It's going to be moving into Pisces. This is a very, very quiet part of your sky. It has to do with, like, time spent in privacy. It also has to do with things like sleeping or, you know, just being alone. So that shows me that you're probably going to be doing a little bit of deep contemplation. You're going to be thinking things over. You're probably going to want to take a little bit of time by yourself to really think things over. Just because when we have the hustle and bustle going on around us, it's hard to really focus our thoughts, especially when we're trying to reflect on the past, which is what I think is going to be happening here. So give yourself the chance to be alone as the month starts, alright? But I don't even know if you're going to feel that energy as much as what's happening on that same day. Mars is entering Sagittarius, and Mars is your ruling planet. Each sign is ruled by a planet. Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's entering Sagittarius. This is the part of your sky that has to do with travel, philosophy, religion, people from foreign countries, law. So it has to do with like the higher-minded things and then the places you go to expand your mind. So what I see here is that you're going to be focusing your energy on, you know, matters of philosophy, matters of religion, all the topics I just discussed. And that's going to really be a theme that's playing out the entirety of the month, but right around the beginning, so like March 5th, it's going to be like hypercharged, and that's because it's going to be speaking to Mercury. So I'm thinking that you're going to be doing deep contemplation, trying to figure out a way that you can sort out your belief system or maybe go somewhere. You're going to be figuring out the logistics behind some trip that you'd like to go on, some philosophical awakening that you'd like to experience, something like that. You're going to be thinking over your belief system. Alright, so again, it's eclipse season. So really everything is going to be focusing on the eclipse. Like all that stuff I just mentioned is important, but it's eclipse season, okay? It is eclipse season. Eclipses shake the world up. They're just like, boom, you thought you were doing this? Sorry, no, you're doing this. Really, what I always say is that like the best way to handle an eclipse is to surrender, because the universe will do to you whatever the universe likes to do to you during eclipse season. I'm not trying to scare you, but you know, it's just a fact. Things change drastically during eclipse season. So March 8th, we have a big eclipse happening. It's speaking to Jupiter. It's directly across the sky. Jupiter has to do with, you know, things like your philosophy. It has to do with, you know, areas where you're seeking more, areas where you are expanding your consciousness, your awareness. It's your spiritual growth, but it's also your luck. Now, Jupiter has been going through a part of your sky for, you know, several months now. That has to do with work, the daily routines, you know, the errands that you run, the dieting you're doing to stay healthy, productive. It's not fun, but you gotta do it. So Jupiter's going through there. It's giving you this growth in that area of your life. You're taking your life more seriously. So what I see here is that Jupiter is standing across from this eclipse. This eclipse is happening in the part of the sky that, you know, traditionally is called the house of self-undoing or the house of isolation. Like, this is not traditionally known as a very friendly or happy house. So what I see is that you're likely going to be taking an honest look, like stark, honest look at your life, figuring out what it is that you're probably not supposed to be doing, you know, so like I'm talking drinking, I'm talking drug use, I'm talking being lazy, I'm talking things that you do behind closed doors that you probably don't want anyone to know about. You're going to be looking at that, and you're going to be realizing that if you want to grow, if you want to tap into that Jupiter who's saying grow into a more productive person, you are going to have to start anew. You're going to have to start fresh. You're not going to be able to take everything with you along the ride that Jupiter is trying to take you on. And I know from my own experience that it fucking sucks. it sucks when you have to be so real with yourself to the point where you're like acknowledging your own shortcomings, where you're saying, I don't even have control over myself. I've been living in a way where I've been letting something or someone control me. And that is never a fun experience. But it is empowering when you're honest with yourself enough to say, alright, I have let it go. I've let myself go. I've not been behaving correctly. I'm acknowledging that, and I'm ready to take action, and I'm ready to take control of my life. So it's a blessing in disguise, really. You're probably going to have a moment of clarity. It might be a health concern. It might be something where you just, maybe it could be something like you behave really inappropriately at a given time, and it really shakes you up and makes you realize, hey, I don't want to be doing that anymore. I don't want to be the person who does that. So, March 8th. Again, you can't control the energy of eclipses, but you can try to align yourself with the highest vibration of this eclipse. So just start trying to identify yourself where it is that you are not living up to your fullest potential. Alright, and then we are going to have, only a few days later, on March 12th, we're going to have Venus entering that same part of the sky. So much subconscious, behind the scenes actions going on in your sky this month. So Venus is entering that same part of the sky. And what I see here is that this could be, the need to take a look at your relationships. This can be possibly the need to just be more private with your relationships. This can be the need to visualize and determine what it is you want from a relationship. This can relate to money as well, because Venus rules your relationship part of your sky and your financial sector of your sky. So what this is it can be you're bringing relationships into private. Maybe you're saying, alright, let's just spend some time alone together. Let's just really bond in privacy. It can also be that you are having to take a look at where your finances are not, in the best place. So maybe you have not been living a responsible life financially speaking, and now you're going to have to take a look at that. You're going to have to be honest with yourself, and you're going to have to make some changes. Do it. That's the only way to grow. Honesty with others is good. Honesty with yourself is crucial. You cannot lie to yourself, and it's just part of living a life of consciousness. So take a look at where you haven't been living up to your financial potential, where you've been irresponsible with your spending, but also, where it is that you can make changes in your relationship. Okay, so then March 19th, things really start to take a shift. They change in directions, because they've been in this subconscious, the focus has been in this subconscious area of your sky. Then on March 19th, the sun is entering your sign. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so great for you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to all my, Aries friends out there. Because the sun's entering your sign, and you are going to have your birthday this month. Or in April. So this is just a burst of vitality, essentially. You've been kind of sleepy. You've been kind of tired. You've been having to deal with all the subconscious junk. Now you're just going to be feeling alive again. Thank goodness. It's essentially like coming to life after a period of hibernation. So that's going to be something to celebrate for about 3 to 4 days there. But then on March 23rd, things are going to get a little bit more focused, a little bit more energized. You're going to have something that you're going to have to look at, and that's going to be a lunar eclipse. We're having a lunar eclipse in Libra, which is your opposite sign. Lunar eclipses represent endings, okay? So I'm not trying to scare you here. I'm never trying to scare you here, but I do not BS. I just don't. I'm always honest. I try to give the highest expression of what your chart could be saying, and I try to give you the lowest. And I try to give you the full range of possibilities here within the context of a short video. So lunar eclipse in your opposite sign can mean the end of a relationship, okay? But only if this relationship is no longer serving your growth. So if you find that this relationship is just A, horrible, B, you're stagnating, neither of you are growing any longer, or C, you are finding yourself have to focus too much of your energy on your partner, then it's probably going to be coming to an end, not necessarily on March 23rd, but within 6 months. So that's how this works. If you try to fight it, it's probably going to get worse, okay? So that's if it plays out in a negative way, okay? But if your relationship is good, alright, if you are not in any of those 3 circumstances that I mentioned, then this can be a time that your relationship is forced to take the next step. So, you know, maybe the 2 of you can be looking at having children. Maybe the 2 of you can be looking at moving in together. Maybe the 2 of you can be looking at getting engaged, getting married, things like that. So you're not going to be able to just keep cruising along in this relationship. Something will have to change. So it can be for the good or for the bad, depending on how your relationship has been thus far. The really, really good news here is that on that same day, the Sun is meeting Mercury, so you are going to have a great deal of clarity, alright? So you will know what needs to happen. And you can say, oh, Taylor, I didn't get that clarity. You did, okay? You did get the clarity. You were either trying to deny it or you were, you know, wishful thinking. Maybe that wasn't the message. So on March 23rd, you will know what to do. Trust your instincts. Trust what you know is correct, Aries. And I think for a lot of you, this will be a really positive lunar eclipse. I think for a lot of you, this will be a moment of clarity where you have to make some hard choices, but it's going to be for the best. So you have to do that. Either way, this is about getting a proper balance between self and others. A balance between my partner's needs and my personal needs. Because you cannot live out of alignment in that area of life. It's just too important to have your own sense of self, especially when you're an Aries, for you to sacrifice your own needs. So do pay attention to that. Alright, so that is your March horoscope, and thank you so much. If you would like to, get daily updates, head on over to taylorcole.com/daily horoscope, where you can read the horoscopes that I write on a daily and monthly basis there. If you want to follow me on social media, please do, obviously. What? You don't already do that? Are you joking? Okay, check out the description box below. It has links to all my social media pages. We can stay in contact, you can message me, we can, just become little BFFs, okay? So do that. And then if you would like more personalized information, go to taylorcole.com/services, where you can order a personalized horoscope, schedule a consultation, or you can sign up for my subscription, where you get a written personalized horoscope emailed to you every single month for like a stupidly cheap price, and it's really awesome, so you should probably check it out. Alright, I will see you next month. I'll see you next week when I do another rising sign video. Bye!